Commander Eric Voss stood in the crystalline hall of the Nalfine diplomatic vessel, surrounded by what could only be described as controlled chaos. The alien princess before him, Lyra of House Miranthus, had just made a declaration that short-circuited his brain's ability to process diplomatic protocols. "I wish to marry you, human," she had announced in perfect Earth standard, her 4 violet eyes gleaming with determination. Eric had served in the Terran fleet for 12 years. He had negotiated trade agreements with silicon-based lifeforms, survived 3 ship-to-ship battles, and once talked a rogue AI into powering down peacefully. Nothing in his career had prepared him for this moment. "Princess Lyra, I'm honored, but you misunderstand," she interrupted. Her translucent wings fluttering with what his cultural briefing indicated was amusement. "On my world, when you marry one daughter of a great house, you accept responsibility for all unmarried sisters. It is our way. You would gain not just me, but my 6 sisters as well." Eric's diplomatic training kicked in, forcing his expression to remain neutral, even as his mind screamed in confusion. 7 wives. "You're saying I would have 7 wives?" "Precisely." Lyra clasped her 4-fingered hands together. "I knew you would understand quickly. Humans are said to be adaptable." From behind Lyra, 6 more Nalfine females emerged from the shadows of the hall's pillars. Each possessed the same ethereal beauty as their sister, though with variations in coloring and wing patterns. They studied Eric with expressions ranging from curiosity to barely concealed skepticism. "This is highly irregular," Ambassador Thorne's voice crackled through Eric's earpiece. The ambassador was monitoring from the Terran ship in orbit, probably having a diplomatic stroke. "Commander, perhaps we should." Eric muted his cum. If Earth wanted better relations with the Nalfine sovereignty, someone had to make decisions in the moment, not 6 hours later after committee review. "Why me?" Eric asked, genuinely puzzled. "Surely there are more suitable candidates among your own people." Lyra moved closer, her movements carrying that distinctive Nalfine grace that made them appear to float rather than walk. "You saved my life during the Corvin raid on Station Pinnacle. You threw yourself between me and armed mercenaries, without hesitation, despite having no formal obligation to protect me. Such courage, such honor, these are the qualities my house values above all else." Eric remembered that incident. The station had been attacked during a trade conference, and he had simply done what any decent person would do. He hadn't expected it to result in a marriage proposal. "And your sisters agree to this arrangement?" he asked, looking past Lyra to the 6 females watching him. The tallest of them stepped forward. Her wings were deep blue, almost black at the edges. "I am Kira, eldest of the unmarried daughters. I will speak plainly, human. We do not require your agreement, only your acceptance. Our sister has chosen you. By our law and custom, we are bound to her choice." "That doesn't answer my question," Eric replied firmly. "Do you want this?" The question seemed to surprise them. Kira's wings fluttered in what might have been confusion. "Want? We honor our traditions. Our desires are secondary to family duty." "Not on Earth," Eric said. "On Earth, all parties enter marriage willingly. Or it doesn't happen." Another sister, this one with golden wings that sparkled in the hall's bioluminescent light, laughed a sound like wind chimes in a summer breeze. The human questions Nalfine tradition. "I am Vera, 4th daughter. Perhaps our sister chose more wisely than I first thought." Eric turned back to Lyra. "Explain something to me. Why does your culture practice this custom?" Lyra's expression grew serious. "Thousands of years ago, before we reached the stars, our people nearly destroyed ourselves in clan warfare. Daughters were married off to forge alliances, but younger sisters were often left unprotected when their houses fell. Many died or faced worse fates. The binding law was created to ensure that no sister would ever be abandoned. that anyone who married into a great house took responsibility for all its unmarried daughters. It has kept our people stable for millennia. It's about protection, Eric said slowly, understanding dawning. Not ownership, but responsibility. Yes, Lyra confirmed, her wings rising slightly in what his briefing indicated was pleasure at being understood. You comprehend the heart of our tradition. Eric's mind raced through the implications. Accepting would bind him to an alien culture's customs in ways that would fundamentally alter his life. Refusing might damage Terran-Nalthene relations beyond repair, and more personally, would insult Lyra's honor and her sister's standing in their society. But there was another consideration, one that made him pause and truly think about the offer before him. If I accept, he said carefully, what would this mean practically? I'm a fleet officer. I have duties. Lyra gestured, and a holographic display materialized between them, showing star charts and trade routes. The Nalthene sovereignty spans 80 systems. We have resources Earth desperately needs. Marry into House Baranthus, and you become not just my husband but a bridge between our peoples. Your fleet would not lose you. They would gain an ambassador with family ties to one of the most powerful houses in Nalthene space. You're talking about changing my entire life, Eric said. Yes, Lyra agreed simply. I am. But is that not what all marriage requires? Change, adaptation, growth? She had a point. Eric looked again at the 7 sisters. Kira, stern and watchful. Viera, with her amused smile. The others he had not yet learned, each unique in bearing and expression. I need to understand something else, he said. This arrangement, does it mean you'd all actually be my wives in the human sense? Or is this more of a legal guardianship? Vera laughed again. Oh, he asks the difficult questions. I like him more with each word he speaks. Lyra's face flushed a deeper shade of violet, but she maintained her composure. Nalthene marriage bonds can be as intimate or as formal as the parties involved desire. Some sister wives become lovers to their shared husband. Others remain companions and friends. We do not demand what you cannot freely give, but we also do not reject what might grow naturally between us. And you're all okay with potentially sharing one husband? Eric directed this at all 7 sisters. Kira answered, her voice firm. We share blood, human. We share house and honor and duty. Sharing a husband is simply one more way we remain connected, one more bond that keeps our family strong. Your human concept of exclusive pairing is known to us, but it is not our way. We do not suffer jealousy over what we have chosen collectively. Eric took a deep breath. This was insane. He was actually considering this. But as he looked at the 7 sisters, he saw something that resonated with his own values. They weren't asking him to dominate them or own them. They were asking him to be part of their family, to accept responsibility for their welfare as they would accept responsibility for his. In a strange way, it reminded him of the fleet. When you joined a ship's crew, you became family. You looked out for each other, protected each other, shared burdens and joys alike. This was just a more permanent, more intimate version of that same bond. I have conditions, he said finally. Lyra's wings spread wide. A gesture his briefing said indicated full attention and respect. Name them. First, I want time to get to know all of you. If I'm going to be bound to 7 women for life, I should at least know who you are beyond names and wing colors. Second, I want your word that none of you will be forced into anything intimate you don't want. Third, I need Fleet Command's blessing, or this could be considered treason. Acceptable, Lyra said immediately. We will have a courtship period of 3 standard months. Any sister who wishes to remain purely as family may do so without shame. And I have already been in communication with your Admiral Hayes. She is enthusiastically supportive of this union, and the younger. diplomatic advantages it provides, of course she was. Hayes had been trying to secure a meaningful treaty with the Nalthene for 2 years. Then I suppose, Eric said, feeling like he was stepping off a cliff into unknown waters, I should meet my future sisters-in-law properly. The formal tension in the room broke like a wave. Vera stepped forward first, bowing in the Nalthene fashion. I am Vera, 4th daughter, master of stellar navigation and expert in pre-space flight cultures. I think we shall get along wonderfully, human Eric. One by one, the sisters introduced themselves. Kira, the eldest, a military strategist. Mela, 3rd daughter, a xenobiologist. Tessa, 5th daughter, an artist whose sculptures were famous across 3 sectors. Nina, 6th daughter, quiet and thoughtful, a mathematician. Jana, 7th daughter, young and full of mischief, training in diplomatic corps. And Lyra herself, 2nd daughter, a skilled pilot, and the one who had chosen him. 7 sisters. 7 brilliant, strange, alien women who would become his family. Eric extended his hand in the human gesture of agreement, then remembered himself and placed his palm flat against his chest in the Nalthene acceptance gesture. I, Eric Voss, accept the bond. All 7 of you. Prepared or not. Lyra's smile could have lit the dark between stars. Prepared or not, indeed, my husband. Welcome to House Maranthus. As chaos erupted in his earpiece with Ambassador Thorne demanding explanations, Eric found himself smiling. Humanity had gone to the stars seeking adventure and the unknown. He supposed